Guys and girls, we are in. We are in. Let me get the torch. There's an Allen key at the back. Wind the Allen key out, unbolts, and the whole thing is on the runners as we thought. Well designed for servicing, so now we can see the lay of the land. HT cup on the screen. Looks clean. Some big caps there. Looks in good order initially. Could just be a case of reseating some of these cards if we're lucky. There's that display. Should be able to work on that. Plenty of digital stuff there for me to get stuck into, and as I thought, hardwired with bulbs. It looked like they were. So basically we'll have a digital voltmeter there. There's some nice test points, so we can work on this. Not like the other set, it's a little bit harder for me to do. Usual. This is more familiar territory now. I'm spotting stuff straight away. Okay, we're going to just, we're powered down, just discharge those caps. That's where we're at, but we'll probably call it a day at this point and leave you in suspense. Because this was only supposed to be a short video, and what it ended up. Only supposed to be short. Blooming heck. So, half working at the moment. So am I opening up a rat's nest for myself? A rod for my back? Yes I am, but it's fun. It's a hobby. A rod for Pete's back. Oh dear. Okay, got to get ready for this evening. Saturday night. I'll see if I can get this uploaded, you never know. I shall try. In the meantime, as I said, thank you for those super chats. This was a treat for you. And next week, we will be doing this and these ones and building this circuit. There's tons of techie stuff. That's the way we are for a while till we can get out on the road and find an abandoned Cortina Mark III. I have got some storage space now, so things are looking a little brighter, courtesy of some people helping me out. Over and out, it's just Pete C. If I get anything in the next half hour, I'll film it on here. If not, it means I didn't get it going. Okay. Welcome back to the workshop. We left you last week with our new toy, the Crypton 335 Motorscope. It wasn't working on the scope screen. We had no trace. So Pete C gets out investigating, narrowed it down to this board here. A little bit of help from the internet. Looks like a few people have had the same issue with this board. So it is the board on second in from the left, board 8 they call it. And indeed, upon inspection, what did Pete C find? But a shorted cap here, just in my hand. 9 out of 10 times with fault finding it's visual, and in this case it was visual. So a quick repair. The cap was short, that's the capacitor, a little sort of power reserve unit, sometimes used to filter out noisy signals. We'll go into that another time. That was short. It also took out a resistor, R8 I think it was, a 22 ohm resistor. That was gone. So by replacing those two parts, you'll see the new cap just in your screen. My thumb's touching it. It's the wrong value. That's should be a 4.7. I've got a 10 microfarad in there. Now it may have an impact upon the board, but it does fire up. I'll show you it fired up now. So we've got it working by just quite a simple fault tracing process. We were ready to start going through these transistors and looking for faulty components by using our meter here. You can do various tests on your components. In the laws of nature and the laws of physics and stuff, usually ends up that things, not always, but a lot of the time, follow the same patterns. Same in life, same with cars. Ball joints go on cars, spark plugs could wear out on cars, tyres wear out on cars, all the same thing. Let's say you've got a car and you know the common fault with it. You always go and change that part, don't you, on your car, because it's a known weak spot, or it's a wear spot that always goes out. It's the same with electronics a lot of the time. A lot of the parts are the same old suspects. They might be packaged up a bit different, but the same old suspects a lot of the time. Some parts will just last for the lifetime of it. Usually resistors are good. They're those little components you can see on my thumb there. They're normally alright unless they're under heavy load, but usually just ones that are used to switch nice little gentle currents and stuff, they'll last forever. Transistors are pretty reliable too, unless you overload them and you burn them out. So a lot of the parts, really you don't start zoning in on at first. You start looking for your usual suspects. So we did that and it came up good. And my old teacher always said when I was an arcade technician, he said 9 out of 10, it's going to be observation. This little bead capacitor here, I think it's a tantalum bead, is got a darkened colour to it. Should be blue and it's all brown. It's rare that that happens actually, that something like that would go down and take the 15 volt line down, which is what it did. That 15 volt line does the tracing, it does the scan coil, so without that we would have no chance of getting a picture. So if I slot this board back in to the unit, right, in we go, and we just slot it in there. There's 2 little screws, release it, but we're in, plug in, and then yes, the moment you've all been waiting for, switch on. We're not going for any isolating transformers anymore. We didn't need that. We did wind the power up slowly on this, but it's not needed. It's all good. A nice transformer at the back that's in good order. Power supply lines are good. And when we boot up, we can get a picture on screen. Just going to try and get it now. Hold on, where am I? Got to flick in here. We haven't got a picture. Hold on a second. I've not got that card. Oh, you know, idiot, you're not put the plug in. Duh. That's because I'm filming. Hold on, let me plug it in. It does help if you plug the lead in. I'll show you what I mean. Pete, come on, lad. Come on, don't mess about. It shows you it's that card. Without it, does help if Pete remembers to plug the multi-lead back when he shows you the board that he repaired. Silly. Right, we go again. We show you the faults and all. We're not perfect here. Cortina City. You can hear the HT firing up. There's our line. There you go. So we've got a trace. So we can test it now on the car by connecting it in with the leads here. Now I'll show you what the leads do on this Crypton 335 at least. They need a nice clean up. They're looking a bit grubby, aren't they, these? You've got a pickup for the King lead, and you've got a pickup for plug 1 and I explained this on the earlier video. If you use the King lead, that's straight out of your coil, and the plug number 1, the electronics in the machine can work out which one is 2, 3 and 4 on a 4-cylinder engine. How does it do it? Well, if you connect this crock lead across to spark plug 1 lead and this one across to the tower lead, King lead, when it fires one, it's going to fire four sparks every rotation, isn't it? Because it's 4 cylinders, so that's going to be going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But this one is only 1 every 4, 1 every 3. So fire 1, nothing for 2, nothing for 3, nothing for 4. Fire 1, nothing for 2, nothing. So the computer reads that one and says, right, as soon as that one's fired, plug 1, and this fires then again to fire plug 2, it knows that the next spark is plug 2, then this fires again for 3 and 4, and then it looks for this one again to lock it back to 1. So that'll fire again, and then it knows it's back to position 1. So in that way, it assumes that the next 3 pulses are cylinders 2, 3 and 4, and it lays them out on the screen in a row. So you don't have to connect 4 sets of leads to your plugs. You just need 1 on spark plug 1. And as I said, as it does the next spark for 2, it assumes that that will be 2, 3 and 4. So it uses this to index itself to get a reference point and counts after that. Every time you get a spark on 1, this lead, this cable, the second spark coming out of the tower on the King lead must be for 2, 3 and 4. Although I must admit, you got your firing order, the actual firing order itself, but that's done in a dizzy cap, so it knows that's what it is. So that's really roughly how it works. 2 more leads here for doing coil resistance. I've checked those. We've got here a 10k, a 1k resistor on there, brown, black, red, 1k. So because it's a 1k, this is to go across your coil to check the impedance of your coil, your spark coil. You click these 2 leads on the left and right of the coil. It measures the ohmage of your coil, normally 0.9 to what, 1.5. So if we switch to resistance, you've got different ranges. I'm going to go 10k, and then it shows me here on the screen the resistance of that resistor we've got in circuit. Now I think, which one am I on? It's showing here as, that's 10. I'm just trying to think I've got this on the right range here now. Switch to 100. I don't know which range we're on. It does work, I've checked this, it does work. So I can't quite remember what I did, but you have got to calibrate it. This little panel comes down. It's magnetic, and you can calibrate this in. So you put a known resistance on there, then just calibrate the ohmage. It does work, and it was exactly right because I swapped a few different resistors into there, so that is working. It's quite accurate. The voltage gauge is very accurate. We checked that was running. I think these 1 to 12 buttons, I'm going to make a guess because I've no manual, are to knock out cylinders up to a 12-cylinder engine. I don't really know how it would knock out a cylinder. So that is under investigation, that panel. We might find out tonight on the chat. You can select your cylinders here. 5 cylinders. I don't really know how that works either yet. But I think that's to do the parade of the amount of voltages you'll see from each plug lead would be on there. I'm probably not as clear as I should be. There's a trace control there. I'm still learning it. In fact, the timing light works. That was running. Still working out all the rest of the controls. We've got battery voltage there, coil voltage there. The coil voltage wires have been cut off, but I found what they are. You know, I said, well, I don't know if I did say on Saturday night that someone sliced some plugs off. Well, they're to go across the coil to measure coil voltage. And also, I think there's a separate lead you plug in here, which is another scope lead, and these high voltage scope leads can unplug, and I think that one goes across the coil to measure the primary circuit, the primary firing circuit of the coil. That's the low tension side, that's your 12 volt and your contact breaker points. So I think that's the contact breaker points plug, so you'd connect that to the negative side of the coil, which is going onto your points, and that should give us the primary trace showing the charge of the spark plug coil, the coil itself. Learning as I go. It's all new to me, but very exciting. I've got to say, this is really exciting. I know it's not Mark III Cortina particularly, but as I mentioned, we are low on the ground for Mark III stuff at the moment. It will come in. So in the meantime, we're keeping it interesting. And tech stuff, as you know, is what I'm all about. I can restore a Mark III, but I grew up on tech stuff. I'm still learning my welding, of course. So it's a mixture of talents and skills that we all share between us, and that's the good thing about YouTube, is we can share our knowledge together. And I appreciate the comments coming in on this as well. William Fenton out there, thanks, hello to William. A couple of others as well, sorry if I missed your names today, who give us some advice on the valve setups, because obviously different technology when we're going to be getting at least one of these old school scopes going when the capacitors arrive. They've not arrived yet. Some parts have, but not everything. I've even brought you down my trusty bench scope to show you how similar everything is, and we'll talk about using scopes because they look all complicated, but they're just a voltmeter, and I want to make sure you seem to enjoy the tech explanations. So I want to take you through some test kit and show you that it's not all gobbledygook, and some stuff is very easy to get your head around and can give you a nice buzz when you think, yeah, that makes sense, I know how to do that now, thanks for that. So I hope to bring that to you. Well, we've got a trace on the screen, so we can back Bramble out and connect this to Bramble's engine, which is what you're are hoping I'm going to do, I know. Before I do that, I need to get some crock clips fitted, because obviously these leads have been chopped. So we could do with getting some connections on the end of there, so that we can do some coil measurements, see what the voltage is at the coil. That'd be handy to know. So I'm going to solder some leads on. I won't film that. And so I've got every diagnostic cable we can use. So I haven't got any big crock clips, so I'll have to go and find something which I can just wrap round for now. The wires aren't long enough at the moment. We need to extend these up to the same length of these. So a little soldering job first, and then we'll hook up to the car. Let's cut to the exciting bit and watch the waveform. I do know it works because I've seen it run. I did a little Patreon only clip of it running. It has been on the car, but not proper. This is going to be proper, so this is the exciting bit for me. See you in a sec, PC. Okay, got all the leads connected up. So you've got this one triggering off the King. Sorry, that's plug 1. King goes down there. We've hooked across the coil with that new lead that I just made up. You saw me heat shrinking that just then. That's gone in there nice and neat. Battery one's across. There's another scope one here which we won't use just yet. That's to measure the primary trace. We're set up for secondary trace. Okay, so we're going to go with we don't get a screen yet till it picks up, then it boots up. So if I switch to battery voltage 12.8, coil voltage nothing because ignition's off. If I switch on, the green trigger light on the unit indicates points of firing, so immobiliser's cut in. Hold on. So we're going to check the trace now, see what we get. Let's see what we get. Fire up. Okay, so coil voltage 14.1. That's the trace for the coil, showing the triggering cycle, and then we can flick to, that's the alternator output, battery output there. We can do the dwell, so we get a dwell of 20, which is a bit low. Timing gun, that'll come on. There's a timing gun comes on. That's our timing, showing 20 something. That seems a bit high. Actually, it's not calibrated, that's why. We'd get that to lock on when it's stationary. Let's see what we get. About there. Okay. Quite high. Mind you, we've got the vacuum advance, we've got to disconnect that. It'll run a bit rough now. Need to plug it really. That's our static timing. Just get it to line up. It's going to run rough, you see. It's around there. There now. That's our static timing. Doesn't come up on the screen. Don't know why that is. Showing about 8 on here for static timing, but curiously doesn't display there. I don't know why. Timing doesn't display. It loses it. I don't know why. We don't get a timing display up. I don't know how that works. We'll have to look into that. Okay, so if we do, that's all 4 cylinders. So our display's a little bit shaky. I don't know if it's anything I've done down here or what. There are things you can do to stabilise it. With me not knowing what the controls are, it's difficult. I think that's our dwell. 18. I'm going to put this back on. Our vac pipe back on. Dwell of 20. Timing goes up a little bit. No, it doesn't. Voltage on the plugs. Voltage on the coil. Voltage on the battery. Okay. 4 cylinders, I don't know what that's for. Doesn't make much difference. That's RPMs here. RPM. That scale for RPM 1100, 10, 1080, something like that. Just over 1,000. Have we got that on the instruments of the dash? Oh, got the rev counter disconnected. We won't know. We won't know. So, looking all right. Might need some tweaking to the electronics, perhaps. I think that turns the engine off. 40k range. 20k range. Don't think there's anything else. I think that's it. That's all we can do for now. This could do with being a bit more stable. That could be that capacitor that's wrong, you never know. This light indicates the points are operating. As I say, that's your coil voltage, your battery voltage. 0.4 of a volt drop across the coil, it's alright. Don't know if we can do a rev test while I'm looking at it. Okay, we'll shut it off for now. Okay, it all seems to be doing what it's doing. I would love to know how that works. Manages to turn your engine off. Quite good. So, that's what we've got there. It's time to have a bit of a tidy up. We'll back the car back out. We've got some readings up, of course. Not quite sure how to interpret them yet, but we're just at the beginning of the learning curve here, so it's all good fun. That's not a bad start though, is it, really? You know, I think we can really get this unit cleaned up and then work on the finer details once it's clean. So I'm going to strip it and take this whole tray out. This whole tray comes out. Take this unit off the bench. We're going to have to fix this because the boom is bent. Okay, and there's a few bits of damage here. Look, this all wants doing. It's going to have to get powder coated. But the good thing about this, you can remove the entire unit, which doesn't need much work except to clean up. Take off some of the decals. Strip this. I think one of the casters is knackered. We could do it, probably get new casters for it. It's not worth getting them treated. We'll find some equivalents, get some new casters on, new rubber mat, powder coat that post in black. Do the painting, either yellow or red, I can't decide. I don't like yellow, by the way, but everyone seems to think it looks cool. We'll see. For now, I'm going to put all the tools away and start afresh. I've got other jobs to be doing. That's a good start. It's a good way to start a film tonight. Yeah, we got traces, we got power, we got action, we got life. And it didn't take a lot. I think that, you know, there may be some fine tuning to get this picture stable. That'll be down to some controls inside on the boards probably. It'll probably need a calibration unit that you'd put in there and Crypton would set it just right. It's probably drifted over time. We'll look further into that when we delve into those manuals. What we need is the tech manuals, the servicing manuals for this. Once we get our hands on them, we can start making proper informed adjustments rather than just guessing and messing something up. We'll gen up on it first so we know the score. Catch you in a sec when I've tidied up. Okay, with a quick clean up, Crypton's just moved a little bit easier position, starting to disconnect all the multi-plugs now so we can pull this drawer out of it. Luckily they built it well. I do like the way they've built this. It's well built in my opinion, robust, easy to service, and it's got multi-plugs on everything at the back. So this whole drawer, as I've mentioned, will come out. If you excuse the pun, the drawer will withdraw. Once that's out, we've got to look at how we're going to take this boom off. The boom's bent. Something's hit it. So that's got to be straightened. I can't tell where the kink is in that. Probably only know when we take it out. It looks like it slots in. There's some Allen bolts there. Don't know, but the hardest job probably be to get the cables out from inside it. They all come in on a loom here, which is all on multi-plugs, but whether they'll pull through, they should do. I'm imagining we'll take this head off here, this shroud cover, and then there should be a sort of an interface board there, a breakout board, and then I would imagine the loom's connected to that, so I would imagine we're going to be pulling this way. We'll just use a fishing wire later when it's all been repainted to pull that cable through. So I would imagine we undo these slot heads and should pull the whole lot through this bunch of cables that you just saw. That would then have the boom ready to be removed. This backing pillar, this sort of lectern, that'll unbolt from the housing of that, then the bottom housing probably come off. That'll give us 3 subsections. This lamp unit at the top will come off. That's quite easy. Then the base plate, take the lectern off the base plate and take the casters off. Powder coat the base plate, powder coat the lectern, the casings. Leave this, we won't touch anything on that at all. Just going to clean up and back to black the fascia and leave it. So that'll be that. And I think, yeah, we'll have to unbolt this saddle, this holster for the timing gun. Then carefully remove the decals with a heat gun, photograph them first, drill the rivets off the serial plate. One decal is faded beyond, but we'll take it off anyway. We're going to use the heat gun to try and carefully peel those labels back after they've been photographed. Are there any more decals we need to worry about? Maybe on the other backing plate, and then this plasticky one here, T1 Crypton, that'll come off with some heat and a razor blade, and then we are good to go. So I'll put you on the tripod, film a little bit of the strip down, Crypton machine. The hardest question is, do we go red? Because Pete wants to go red, because I prefer the red colour scheme for all the items in the garage. Although little Nick might be taking this anyway, we don't know yet. Or we might get the one that comes in after this. I'm getting another one. I like them that much. I'm getting another one. Me and Jim want a pair. Sound off like you got a pair. So we're going to do that. I think that's about all we can do. There's not going to need much tools or anything for this. It should be a simple enough strip down. Get that drawer out first. Removed. And then pop that down over there, I think, and put it on a dolly wheel. Get the dolly caster tray now. Off we go for Crypton strip down and repowder coat in a colour we finally decide on. Okay, that little head is off there, and it does indeed all have one easy unit. Doesn't need any work, that, so we'll leave that as it is. Cable's going to pull through here, so I'm just going to GT85 these. This will help them slide through. And just reduce the friction coming through the tube. Plenty on. Sprayable, are you? I'd imagine they will pull through. It's certainly starting to go. I think we just have to sort of put pressure on it that way and pull through. Let's just hope when it comes to the multi-plugs we don't have any big problems. Should go. I'm going to put you on the tripod for this. Let's watch me struggle, watch Pete C struggle now. We won't really, it's all good fun. The dolly's there ready to receive the unit. In fact, I think we should withdraw the unit now to disconnect it. There's nothing on it. It should just come off as one. So onto the tripod for you folks. Keep watching. That's it, that's how easy it is. That is nice. That is a good idea. Look at that. The ease of work. That's a nice piece of engineering. Nice. Ain't that a honey? Great. Let's get on and strip the rest. Join us. Let's get this done. I'll take the lamp unit off first. These screws will all get replaced. Got rusty heads on them, so we'll just get me these little 4BAs, I think, here. This is the easy bit. Unit getting lighter all the time. Get this all powder coated. Should have to turn this around pretty quick. Not normally a delay on powder coaters. I think they're still running and they're locked down. So remove the back of the fluorescent tube. We'll have to strip out the innards of the fluorescent unit. Should all be one unit. Yep, certainly is. Okay, fluorescent unit, nice beefy unit. A decal there, we don't want to lose that. That's what we got. Little fluorescent tube sticker. And now this needs 8 to undo. 8 to undo. Those screws are all getting replaced. So, Crypton, strip down and repaint. cable pulling through here. This could be fun. That plug's not going to come off there. So we're going to have to probably cut that cable, I reckon, and just rejoin it. It's got to come out. So's the runners. The draw runners will have to come out. Them draw runners we just slid it out on, they won't like being powder coated. So we'll have to get those. Easiest way to do this, cut the cable. It's a lot of it easier than trying to thread that through there. Just get the cutters. Although they must have assembled it, to be fair. OCD kicking in. Oh, here we go. OCD's kicking in. They must have assembled that and pulled those through. Oh, heck. Going bloody OCD. Oh, they will go through. Just. Line that P-clip off there, because that will melt with the powder coating. So we need to put these little fixtures and fittings in a tub somewhere safe. Obviously unscrew the Perspex display logo. We've got a bit of metal work to do on this. We've got to, that's interesting, little safety switch there. I wonder what that was for. Must be to restart. Interesting. Got a button on the back of the unit. An 8 there for the earth. I hope it pulls through. It should do. Pop that grommet out. I'm thinking the spade will slot through those holes just. He may not. Small electrical screwdriver. Sorry about that, an off screen for you. We just need 8 on there. What do they do with the socket? Can you see it? I can't see it. Where do these things go? They just happen, driver. You lunatic. What? Hey, help! I have to replay the tape when I do my socket. There it is. You spotted it. Extension on that. Seven. No, wrong one. This one. It was 8. You done both. I was looking at the transformer bolt. Little star washer, don't lose that. Star washer at the back. Put it back on. Put the bolt back on. Freshen unit out. I've got to substrip that down because that needs coating. Your light unit. So we've got to take all the bits out of this. Not much transformer. There's a little switch at the back, look. But it's push to brake. So I don't know what the point is of that. The only thing I can think of is it reboots the starter motor. It's very odd, very strange. Permanently on, press to isolate. Very interesting. So put out on, press it in and it breaks the switch. Why would you want to push the back of the fluorescent tube? Except to reboot it perhaps. If it hasn't started up. Looks in okay order. We'll have to say we'll have to substrip that down. So what else we got? I've got to feed these cables through here. Have I done it without cutting them out? Yeah. Without cutting OCD to the rescue. Okay, I'm glad I did that. 8 of them there. So the saddle clamp, or P-clip, we call it P-clip. Could be 7 on the P-clip actually. Probably is 7 on the P-clip. Yeah. Alright. You want some dad dancing? Oh, alright, baby. You want some really bad dad dancing? Topped off with some terrible singing and some bad old Schwarzenegger impressions. March! Whoa! We're off! We're off! I hope we catch you. We don't want to be catching. If we get stuck halfway up, we're knackered. This isn't looking good. No, that's looking very jammy, jammed up. Can we take off this end? Not much no easier at that end. We got ourselves a tricky job to get these through without snagging, pulling out and getting damaged. Our first risk of the day. What can we do, folks? Already feel the jam. Ooh. Oh no, this isn't good. The hardest part. I don't like doing this. Not so. But they can follow after each other. Whoa! Oh, that's it, we're stuck. Uh-oh. That's what I didn't want to happen. Bugger. That's what I didn't want to happen. To get jammed up. I wonder how deep rooted them. Oh. We'll be a way of getting them out. We'll have to go back and fish. Oh dear me. No. I don't want to damage the plug, 701. How far are we on? Too far. Whoops. Good point now. Suggestions please. Speak through it. I'm not pulling that hard, I'm just away from it. Try a bit of wiggly. Where was this bent incident? Oh, hey! Whoa! Hey! As easy as that! Wow, what an impact! It's actually lightweight. Look at the impact here. That's creased right there. Wow. Oh, I'm just trying to straighten that out. Took a right hit. That's a little bit of engineering work there to fix that. We'll try and pull that out. Obviously, at the moment we've got some cables stuck in it. It's not half as bad now that we can see down the end, and I can see the cable that's stuck. So we've got a bit more of a chance shoving stuff down here and helping the cables go through. I can see one that's stuck. Yeah, stuck on this pin. What it is they wouldn't have planned for this in the factory. That way it's dented. That's what's created the snag on the cables, otherwise it'd be plain sailing. See, we've got a snag. Longer screwdriver needed to push them. We've got to push round. Hold on, I've gone off screen. We've got to push round. Longer screwdriver. We've got to push round the bend. Should try and knock the bend out, and that will help the cables. I don't know. Oh, it's pretty much just a straight run. Wow. Yeah, so that, how would you straighten that kink out? That's pretty bad kink in it now. I'm just thinking, I don't think there's anything else. Well, it looks like there's actual bend in this too. Is that quite a right angle? It's not. I think it's also took a bit out there. One needs to go in a vise and straighten it up. So I'll get the cables out. I'll tell you how I do it when I do it, and then we'll switch to this. Otherwise, you're going to see me struggling for ages. But I'm confident I'll get these. We could vacuum them out. There's ways. We'll see. I'll let you know how I get on. Okay. Said I might let you watch me struggle. Here we go. Okay, hopefully, let's see if I can see you up there. Hopefully, we've not sliced through any of the wires there, folks. Doesn't look like it. I just let the blade just ride on the top surface of the steel, just till I can see it opening it up, then lay back on that slitting disc. And now I'm just going to stick a screwdriver in, prise that open, and that will get the cables out, I'm sure. Are you still in screen? Yeah, just about. You're still in screen. Going, and then we'll have to repair. There's the cable right on it. Just glance the edge of it, will be okay. Opening that up, watching for wires in there, everybody, just in case. Although we could always resolder them, not the end of the world, but it's jammed in real good there. Wow, that would never have got through. With that kink, I didn't plan for the kink. Yeah, I'll just pull straight through now this. And we'll inspect later any damage to the wires. Okay, seeing if you can see, I'm going to pan you up a little bit. Sorry about this. The only downside with this camera is that the screen is only little, but it's a blooming good camera. It's a DJ Osmo. Okay, what's this? That's what it should have done. That's what should have happened without the kink. No damage. Should be okay. We shall meter those through, but it looks good. Nothing's caught. No, we made it. We're okay. So our loom's out with the breakout box there. That can be left. We don't need that. That can be left into stores for that. Now we've got a boom, and the boom needs straightening. No accident damage. Now we could get that on a block and hammer that back in, then just knock that plate back down and weld it. That could work. So it's a vice job and a job for a lump hammer just to straighten that up. I think if we fold this tab back, hammer it straight, put the curve back in it, let it flip back in, pull on this tube here that's bent, try and get that straight, nice straight line. That's the boom fixed. Not a big job. We've got two decals on the boom here. We're going to have to get the heat gun now and get those off. Once we've focused. razor blade just under the sticker. Slowly pull the blade through. This will get us off without any damage at all. Very neatly. The right way to do it, no bend, perfect. Completely undamaged. It's the way to take it off. Okay, we don't want any dust getting on the back of that. We'll have to reapply sticky to that, double-sided tape. Put that just gently there for now. Next decal, same procedure. Is it warm? Still warm. Should go. Blade under, slowly feed in. Pressure at the top. Slowly. Both thumbs on either side of the blade, pushing towards the front. A little bit more heat. That's improved it. You just don't want to lift or lever the sticker. Nice, very nice indeed. Completely straight. 2 off and saved. And now that boom is really ready to go and get some work on it. We'll move you back to another angle. See you in a sec. Hello up there. Pete C coming back at you. Okay, some more decals here. This one's a lot thinner, just more of a sticker. Serial number plate to come off. Hold on, sorry about that. This decal, serial plate, and then a dealer network sticker faded off. That's totally faded off. That's okay, but might not come off that one. Let's try anyway. See if we can get it off. Okay, we've stripped quite a lot of stuff out. There's some rubber mats that fit in these little shelves and the instruments go on those. There's a little drawer I didn't know about hidden there with some bits and bobs in it. Nothing fantastic though in the drawer. There's a sticker to get off. We'll get that Crypton one off. These ones, there's 2 of these red stickers. I've got one. I got the serial number off. I got the dealer sticker off. Serial number, it's hard to get these without damaging them, so we'll get them remade. They're very thin and they're really stuck on. Have we got some nuts and bolts to undo for that holster? Some Allen key bolts to come out for these plates. The hardest part will be the draw runners. They've got these funny hidden rivets in here. These flush fitting rivets. I don't know what they are. We're going to go through and drill through to get this slider off. We don't want to powder coat that. So I don't know what I'm going to do about the rivets. We'll have to try and find the right type. They've got to be flush fitting. 4 6 bolts holding on the whole metal case into the pedestal. And then the pedestal, I presume, once I've got that metal case off, I shall flip the unit back on its back, rip off that mat and throw it away, undo the casters. And then we've got a kit of parts, so we've got to do then strip that lighting fitting down, and we'll get in there. So all the little bits coming together. Interestingly, the control box is done in that red, that Crypton red I was telling you about, proving that I have seen one of these with the whole machine in this colour. Look at that red, that is the red. So when you compare them, you know, you just got the two colour schemes. So they did do it. And it's just, I can't remember where I saw it. When I see that red there, it sways me a bit, you know, it does. So we've got some foam tape as well, and here mustn't forget draft excluding tape, like a buffer for when you close the monitor or the control panel in. Other than that, it's not pretty much, you can have one of these stripped in an hour very easily. Thoroughly recommend the 335 as a resto project, given that you can take out the control unit so easily. And the good layout of this. It's very well built, very well thought through, because this is an engineer's dream, is having different cards and a motherboard, because it makes servicing easy. This was built with servicing in mind for sure. Nice separate beefy power supply there. And there's another great thing about it, the EHT transformer, the extra high voltage transformer to run that tube, comes out on a red cable, and you just see it, and there's a rubber cap. My other units don't have that cap. That's that HT cap. That's where the high voltage is. You have to discharge that with a load, a low ohmage load, or people use a screwdriver, but you get if I touch that now, I get a big belt, because that's holding charge. But it's laid out nice. Good quality transformer here, good components with nice spacing, decent power resistors, good Molex plugs, tried and tested, very reliable Molex plugs. So they've built this nice. In my opinion, that isn't cheap. It's not poorly designed. It's been thought through logically. The way that they've populated the motherboard there, power supply at each end, keeping the high voltage separate down from the low voltage stuff, stops tracking across. And as I say, the motherboard's nicely arranged for ease of servicing. We don't know what any of them do. Well, these two control the TV or the monitor or the scope. These probably the voltage instruments. So that's it, that's very good. And this is very good, but we're going to leave it for now. For you, it's just a few seconds. For me, it's a whole nother day. I'm going to go get something to eat. We're back on the chain gang, folks. Back on restoring stuff, which is what we like to do at Cortina City. Keeping it car related if we can. These instruments, wow, you know. Okay, over and out for now. See you in a sec. I want to have my tea. Okay, I just left you. I said it'd be just, well, seconds for you, not even minutes. I left you stripping that casing down. We're almost ready. We'll have to roll Bramble out now to finish the strip down of the 335 Motorscope. But in the meantime, the capacitors arrived for our 1962, well, it's actually a 64 Motorscope, the Dynavision. And I've fitted the capacitors. You can see them yellow there. They don't quite fit the mounting bracket, so they're zip tied up. 3 capacitors, 0.15 microfarad, rated at 3000 volts. 2 new resistors on the top. I've actually paralleled up 2 resistors. I'll actually drop the resistance a little bit, but that was just to get the wattage, because they were not quite high enough wattage. That'll work. Solder on the leads that's for the high voltage side. That's soldered on. Then replace a couple of the caps and a couple of the resistors that were reading a bit out of range. Soldered a new lead on it because someone had been messing with it in the past, so the new mains lead's gone in. So that's that. We can take it over to the bench over there. We can fire this up. So we should get no more blown valves. I put 2 new Mullard valves in. They arrived. Sorry, Mazda valves this time. EY86 has gone in. That's the type of valve. It's a rectifier valve. I'll show you those. If I spin this unit round, you'll be able to see the valves. Careful. There they are. 2 rectifier valves in there. These caps I've left. It looks like when I track back down, one of them's the 6 volts for the tube heaters. The other 2, I'm not sure what they're for. I can't get those capacitors. I can, but they were too big. I can. The can was too big. These are just a bit too monster to fit in there. We're going to have to go back to the drawing board and get some others. I have got some other capacitors here. These look like polypropylenes. Let me know if they're not. I don't know if they'll be suspect or what. We're only going to know when we hook it up. We'll bring the power up slowly on the variac and we'll see what we get. So all we had to do was take out these old shorted caps in my hand, coming up to you now. Get them out. One's ballooned, the other one's not too good. We just can't trust them. Solder them in. Redo a bit of wiring here that was suspect. Put another mains lead on it just for now. take it across to the bench. Oh, may as well stay with me. Little bit of insulating wood, a bit of chipboard down. We can hook this into the circuit. Let's see what we get. We've got the car here. If it does fire up, we can test it. Okay, I'll start down about 100 volts. Switching on, power on, bring it up slowly, have a look. Should get a red indicator light coming up. Yes, that's there, no picture yet. Oh no. Come on. Missed anything? More power, nothing popping. Those caps all in, that cap in. Valves all reseated. What's the variac on? 190 volts. Whoops. Oh, 70%. Go up to 80. 90% power. Come on. Nothing. I'd have thought that would work. That's on. Whoa! Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa! That's English for stop a horse. We've got a trace. We've got a trace. We've got a trace. We're alive. It's worked. Increase power. And go up to full. Nothing's popped on 240, 235 volts. We are in. We've got a trace. We've got something. It's worked. Look. Motorscope. So, it was by this time that had gone. The caps transformer would be getting hot. Although it's early days yet, I suppose. That was gone by now. It did initially when I first ever got it fire up. Then it blew a fuse. Cap blew a diode tube, and that was the end. That's a reading. We need the pliers to select the rotary adjuster and just see what happens when we go through the scale. Going through the scales, what you get? Is that AC mains? We're seeing AC mains here. See if we can stabilise that. Stabilising. We've got a waveform. AC mains waveform. That is good. Wow, we've done it. At least we're at that point. Whether it's calibrated and gives us accurate readings, another matter. But well, the Dynavision comes back to life. No smell of burning. Sounds all quiet. Got to be careful where you touch. Nothing hot immediately. That looks good to me. There are plenty of other resistors which could be suspect, and these caps we don't know about. But initially, that sort of shows our tube picture is good. Sorry, our tube works, and it's the high voltage power supply is now repaired. So if there is anything to do, it's going to be to do with calibrations and getting it to sync on and lock on and stuff. But it probably takes the trigger from when it gets the pull. So I reckon the best thing to do before we box this off, at least for now, is just to see how it looks on an engine. We'll connect the cars here, so may as well just hook it back up and see what we get. Right, let's do that. Then hook up to the car. Wow, made up. Oh, pretty pleased with myself there. We've saved, hopefully, have we saved another one? This one, as you saw, we got it going. This one could be well on its way, which means we can start stripping and powder coating this cabinet, because that was the only thing stopping me from stripping this. I just wanted to make sure it was all going to be worth it, and that gives me the motivation now to carry on. We are doing good, folks. Exciting times. Right, earth wire connects to the battery, green cable down to the contact breaker points, black to the tower of the coil, red to spark plug number 1. We'll have to open the door for the fumes. We could do with getting one of those mobile fume extractors. but we're ready. A little bit of garage openings needed. Exciting. Wow, Crypton Motorscope by Crypton. Will it do it? Will we get some kind of parade of sparks? Come on, Bramble. Well, we know Bramble's alright. Okay. Okay, well, it kind of works. It needs a bit of fine tuning to get it. It's not doing the raster 4 in a row on the top, and it does the 4 across the parade. It's not quite sharp, but it is trying. I would say now it's down to calibration on the actual time-based circuit as opposed to anything else. So what we could do with this is just keep on looking for any other components, even maybe these capacitors. We need to see if they're the kind of caps that fail. We could replace them anyway. We get hold of the bits. So that's it. I think really from this point of view, where we are with that now, to keep moving, it can be something you can just keep coming back to and tweaking, as opposed to it saying, is it ever going to work or not? It's got a good chance where we'll get it going. So it's worth stripping this one down as well. So I'm going to roll the car out and carry on with this, or we'll get distracted, get that in component form, get that away, powder coating, so we can build that one back up with plenty to do. It's just because these capacitors arrived, I couldn't help but get onto this. You don't blame me for that. Clear out the car, clear out the unit a little bit, the garage a little bit, make a bit of room, get this into the middle of the unit, and get that into the middle of the unit and strip it. Then start putting this back together with any more components, and then probably start taking this apart as well, get it all done. But that's not a bad result. Okay, right, got the car out. What we'll do, we know this is worth working on. We've got a chance to get that into a nice unit. So just because I'm on a powder coating trip, I'm going to get this stripped, take it to bits, and also I'll finish off where we left off with this just a few minutes ago, 10 minutes ago for you, something like that. You can see the pedestal or lectern or whatever's held on with these bolts here, so they're easy to do, just take off and take the base plate off. We should be done. I'll pop you on the tripod again. We'll see what we can do. Sockets out. Let's get this boxed off and sent away. It's going to be going in red. I know I'm going to shock people with that, but the next one I'll do, I'll keep in yellow for you. It's just one of them things. Red is the colour today. Okay, sockets out. Here we go. Some side panels to take off here. I'll speak up a little bit because we're away from the microphone. This side cover here was for an additional instrument. Don't know what we would have fitted. Something, maybe a CO. No. Side panel comes off. Some Allen keys, get them redone. Get new ones. There's that. There's one this side, get that off. Well, actually, it's the socket for the boom. Socket for the boom. Going. That's the light. That's the socket. Looks alright. And then we got 13. Imagine. side tilt. It's going to come out, I'd imagine now. Yeah, it's going to fall. See what? Let's think outside of the box. Does help if you collected all the nuts and bolts before you did that, you idiot. How silly of me. Into the tray. Where are you? Yeah, you're so small, that's three. I can't see what's going on. Can you see what's going on? Whoa. One more to go. Hello? Yep. Turn. Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, we've got spinny heads. We need a 13. Now we've got spinny heads. 13 going in. Red 5 standing by. 13 going in. You fellas, what are you doing? What are you doing? Note to self, get a little portable drill. I'm sure I've got one with the adapters on to do these. They don't need powder coating, those ones. That's the stand. On a long stand. Should powder coat easy that. Bit of vacuuming to do what we've got here. Two little hooks, separate fillets on there. What we've got there. Bit of rubber matting in the bottom. But straightforward to coat. This seen better days on its rubber matting. casters. It's like it's been repaired, they've been welded on. These casters look bad. These screw-ins, captured nut they are. We're going to have to do some welding before this goes in. We're going to find some of these and see how they've done it. Now, has it got a separate plate? I think it has with studs on it. Can't tell there. This plate is damaged as well. It's dented on the front and have to hammer that out. This one's not welded in. We've got two that are. That's welded, we'll have to chop that out. Got to angle grind this weld off. Only one's welded actually. And see what's going on with the captured nut on this one. These casters are no good. They're past the sell-by date. I think we're going to do these 10s here, I think, and have a look to see if this base plate comes off. I'm hoping it does. I'm hoping this chassis comes out. Yes, it does, because that's wobbling. We can get the inner chassis out, which means we can hammer it straight, everyone. This is what we need. Got the hip. Repair that bottom caster and find these bolt-on casters that can screw in. Hopefully we'll be able to get some like that. This off here. And that is it for that. Should withdraw. Hold it here. Oh, it's not all the way off. How did I miss? How did I miss that? You're crazy. You missed it. You only did 3. There's 4 holding it. Nah. It comes. Anything else? Oh, because it's dented. Okay. We understand. Dented there, locking it in place. So we're trapped on that little line. Will require the enforcer. I'll be right back. Get the enforcer. Let's do some hammering. Why the radio? What? Look what's happened. You couldn't make it up. Hook a wheel. Get off. You couldn't make it up. I hooked a wheel. We're going to do some bashing. Why did they play The Cure Friday when it's not Friday? I don't know. quite a bit to strip on these fluorescent lights. What we got, folks? We got girls. 8s. Ooh. Nil. 7. Long root socket needed. Nope. Could be 6. No, it's not 6. It's not that it wasn't 7, it's just it was loose. Another one for powder coating. Our decal logo. Whoa. Oh! Needs new perspex. Perspex cracked. Oh, that was close. Be very careful with that. Wants a new piece of white perspex cutting. It's got a crack in that. Careful, so careful with that then. Wow. Need to stash that somewhere safe. I think that's that for that. Just got these little slide on. Never remember the name of these things. I'll come off anyway. These little spire clips or whatever they're called. Not spire clips. There's a name for these. We always forget. Take those off. That's them. Another piece. This has little foam pads behind it. We'll have to keep our eye on those. So, little bits of foam pushed into each corner. See if we can get them out. They come out. They must be to stop light leaking through or to cushion the perspex perhaps. And we've got a runner there as well, on the corner. So a little bit of sticky foam, it's coming out alright, I can re-glue that in. Might be to stop it rattling, I don't know. Another piece there. That's that piece. You still see me? You just about can. Right, little nuts and bolts. We'll get all these new. I'll keep these as references. And then we've got, this plate needs doing. Probably the trickiest bit of all, I suppose. These shoe clips, these saddle clamps. Oh look, they are bolting on. I was going to say they're probably riveted on. They're not. So there are smaller nuts on some of these. Can you see? Just tag sticker, keep that little earth decal. And then for some very small nuts, holding on, larger ones on the transformer, 10 probably, 9, what's he doing with a 9? There. How silly. 8. 8 it is. Little miniature nuts. I don't know how the hell, they must be screwed from the back. No, it's not. How the hell did they tighten those up? You can hardly get to them. We need a very... Okay, here's our biggest challenge yet on the job. This is a very thin gauge tube, a lot thinner than what it looks. It's almost exhaust pipe thickness. You can see the damage there where this has gone over and bent it. There's no way we're going to repair that so that it fits into its receptacle here. So we're going to have to slice this collar off. There's welds there. We're going to cut those welds off. I'm going to cut the tube off. I'm going to slice the weld off. Then we're going to have to lose a little bit of height or find another piece of tubing and replace it, and then make the join just on that collar there. So I've got to repair this. It's badly smashed. There's only one way is to cut into it and get it opened up. There's no way we're going to straighten that. It's very messy. It's just trying to hammer inside, get curved shapes, and then it's not going to slot into here. We need a good snug fit. Could just slice it and lose all that height, and the whole boom could operate lower, but it won't look right. So let's get on and see if we can repair this. We're going to probably need a piece of tube. Or you could just salvage that piece and lose that much height, perhaps. I'd rather get a piece of tube though. That could be tricky. We'll have to see what we can do. I'm going to slice that collar off and just cut this broken tube off and see what we can do. See if we find any bits of pipe the same diameter. It could be exhaust gauge size. I don't think I've got any exhaust tube. It's probably slightly thicker than exhaust pipe though. It's a real tricky one. I say the alternative is to go lower down. I'd have to see where that's going to leave it. It could work, but it's best to keep it looking original height, you know? Let's just see. Okay, bit of a mission. Straighten the tube, move the collar around, push the collar up, cut a bit off the tube, ground it down, filed it. We're going to go for a shorter boom. Took a look at some photographs of these, and I always thought the boom was a bit too high, especially if I'm going to push it back into this back corner. The boom would only just clear the roof. This gives me a little bit more room for the boom. You could always extend it if you had to. So that collar's lined up with this. I've also straightened up the cage, this cage which the cables hang from. We're going to have to weld that now because all those brackets have broke loose. I've just mocked that up ready. So we've got some welding to do on this head. And then using the dolly, this little dolly handle here is great for just shaping that corner in there as well, to fix that damaged corner that we had. So that's done. It's time to get everything out and get it off to the powder coaters. Let's go and get this all powder coated. We're ready to go. With the Crypton, the yellow unit stripped now, and I've welded it up, fixed that tube. Took a little bit of mess in that tube to get it. As I said, I just cut it down. Got a Mondeo, our friendly Mondeos in front of me, and I'm in Tina G. Wow, a rare appearance for Tina G, and a chance for you now, just to break the video up a little bit. Friday night, keep quaffing, keep chatting. We're in Tina G. She's road legal. For those inquisitive minds who like to check, you'll find nothing on PDM 869P. Oh hell yeah. Needs a little bit of the cobwebs blowing off it. Where's the power? There isn't any. Tina? Show me what you got, baby. Show me what you got, baby. Show me what you got. Woo! Well, we got a wobbly wheel for starters. We got a wheel bearing there, I don't know. Sounds quiet and smooth, but it's a little bit wobbly. I can see you wobbling there. So, with a wheel to look at, you're wobbling like hell and have to stabilise you. We've thrown a weight on the wheel, maybe. I don't know. So, first time on camera for a while. We've got music. 1972. Woo! 1972. Charge bound. The Sunshine Sound with Radio 1. Radio 1. 247 fun. It's a radio wonderful weekend. For the weekend. For the weekend. Going places, going places, keep on trucking. River Radio 247 Radio. Rolling out the music for you. It's national. Around there. Radio 1, the best music, we play it all for you. On Radio 1, the best music, Radio 1. Start with us in the morning, here on Radio 1. Radio 1, top 20. Newsbeat. Cortina Newsbeat. Radio 1. It's Crypton morning. Playing all the golden oldies. We're on a Crypton mission Friday night. We're Crypton crazy at Cortina City. Pleasure driving. The happy sound coming to you on 275, 285, 275. Bringing you all the hits, Easy Top Down, Eliminator. Bringing you all the hits, Tony Blackburn's Hit Show. Coming up next, folks, Bob Picker's Tony Blackburn's Hit Show. All the hits coming up later on, Radio 1, 275 and 285. Mike Reid, 275 and 285. Mike Reid, National Radio 1. Or if you want the Lancashire version, Mike Reid, 275 and 285. Mike Reid, it's National Radio 1. The Radio 1 Road Show coming to you live from Skegness-on-Sea with Gary Davis. Coming to you with boring Gary Davis. with Fancy himself, Gary Davis, the man who fancies himself. The sun is out. You're on board with Tina G, PDM 869L. I've had this car for 29 or 30 years. I've had this car. Turn the heat off. Heat likes heat, we're actually warmed up. Been in storage, been off and on, been on some crazy trips in its life. It's got Cortina City under its belt, France, Belgium, Holland, Germany, Austria, Switzerland, Italy, Lake District veteran, Scotland veteran, a Cornwall veteran, the North East. It's been around, still going strong. Needs some TLC, needs an engine bay freshen up, needs some little bit of paint freshen up here and there. A bit of rust crept in over the years. Been restored, 3 restorations, one heavy, 1 too light. It's had a new boot floor, chassis original. I think we're going to be on a slow drive, folks, here. We've got a tractor unless we can get past it. Hope no wheels are falling off. I do have a check, really. Some fans there. The horn works. Doesn't sound very good. I'm going to get some better horns on it than this. Don't know if we'll be able to make this tractor overtake, really. Depends on the traffic in front. Our Crypton is in front by 1 car, our Mondeo, loaded with the Crypton bits. Hopefully, I think we're going to have to go for an overtake. This is a slow crawl otherwise. Yeah, one car's gone for an overtake. I think we're all going to do it. Yeah, we're going. We're going. Clear. All go on a 35 box, no overdrive, so 4,000 revs at 70, around that figure. Extra soundproofing on this one as part of the resto, the last resto. We've got double dynamat in the roof, we've got dynamat behind here. I don't think I'm dynamating under the carpets on this one. It has got felt there, 2 litre. Standard points at the moment, condenser and points. Axle rebuilt, it's the quietest axle out of the fleet. This axle was done by, got a rattle. Who's that? Who's rattling? I hate rattles. Who's rattling? The axle was done by top axle people in the North East, and I've forgotten who they are. They're not in business. And Fostech did the axle, the quietest axle in the business. That was the end. Ain't no tragedy. MP3 system on board. The Bee Gees. 70s music. Radio station in the 70s. Get started here. Speak like a child, style counts around we go. Still on? You're still on. Woo! Caught them on day or what? I was going to throw it round there for you. It's dry, you see, we can do this. One day I was loaded with Crypton bits. BK10. Join us on this road trip, breaking up the Crypton fun. And, like I said, those super chatters and them Patreons hot on the heels. Come on, super chat me, baby. Chuck in a pound into that crazy pot so Pete can burn it all up on Cortina City. We'll keep the videos coming. What's it worth? £1 a watch? What's Pete C worth? £1 a watch? 50p a hit? £2 a hit? What's it worth to just sit back in those seats, YouTubers, and just have yourselves a little bit of fun on a Friday? Keep quaffing Chris Bradley in Blackpool. He's absolutely legless on his Magnus. Little Nuke just on as well. Gary Noggy watching. Lee Holmes watching. Baker watching. Peter Barker watching. William Fenton's in, fixing his scope. Donna's in. Donna's watching. You're all there. John, Mark, David King there. Alan, Mark's Rods. Shout out to Mark's Garage. Greg's Workshop. Big shout out to Australia. Greg cooking in the heat. Greg's Workshop. Sheldon in the house. Classic Britain there. Simone. Welding away, Simone. Classic Britain, Sheldon. Richard Valentini. Our Italian connection. Yep, we've got the Italian connection as well. Hello Australia, hello Austria. Hello Puerto Rico, our Puerto Rican connection. Hello Puerto Rico. Hello Colombia. Simon Carney there. Sharon Elkin, the Elkin Marbles. Sharon John Lawson. Skeggy, Scott's Trails. Woo! Tell you what, it's a softer ride. We're on rubbers, we're not on poly, so a softer ride, you're going to notice that. Down the Dip of Doom. Whoa, the Dip of Doom. Smooth. I like it. Hasn't got the punch Ruby and Bramble have got on the low end. That's because of the cam, but still got it. It'll take a lot to keep the city down. This car's been with me a long time. We're like this. The years I've still got the car. Nearly 30 years with Tina. I was a young man then, just 21 years old, 22 years old, just a young man. It's had the back end out. It's seen many things. It's seen so many things, so many memories in this cabin, and it's virtually unchanged. It's just like going back 30 years for me, virtually unchanged. I've hardly done anything to it. It's just as it was. It's getting a bit more lively now, it's warmed up, I'm waking up. Hold on, I can't see where I'm going here. Go. It's not hold a second as much as I like. cigarette lighter. Got a lot of pickup. It's got cop shocks. Sorry, that's a bit of a tongue twister. It's got cop shocks, cop brakes, a 358 cubic 8 motor. It's not got any catalytic, so it runs on regular gas. You traded it. I just get out of Julia and you pick me up in a police car. So what about it? Is this the new Bluesmobile or what? Fix a cigarette lighter. Got a lot of pickup. Got a lot of pickup. The brakes are sharp. Somebody we know there, it's one of our vans. Got a lot of pickup. We're going crazy, we're going Crypton crazy, we're on a manic high. Remember we talked about those OCD blues? Remember we talked about the lows and the highs? We're on a high, we're on a manic depression high, so this means PC goes all hyperactive. Past the McCulloch's garage from the Echo of the Bunnymen. This is where we've got a classic! We've got a classic! What we got? What we got? I don't know if it's a Hillman Hunter. It's a Hillman Hunter, I think. We've got a classic, a Hillman Hunter. This is Ian McCulloch's garage on the left hand side. Not anymore. This is where Ian McCulloch lived, just down there from Echo and the Bunny. Not anymore, so I'm not giving away his location. That's where his Zodiac used to be. Echo and the Bunnymen, folks. We're at the powder coating place now. Whether they'll do this job, we don't know. We can do a plough, we must be able to do a Crypton machine. We can do an elephant, a 10-ton elephant, we must be able to do a Crypton machine. Let's see what it's all about. We've arrived, we'll go and see Mr. Powdercoat. See you in a sec. We'll be back at base shortly. See you in a sec. Get you back to base. I've dropped off all the stuff, it looks like he can do it. Let's close the door, it does help. No, thanks for letting us out. Very nice of you. Thank you. Thank you. The Hunter is there, I don't know if you can see it. We definitely got something loose, so I'll have to check everything on this car. I did give it a quick check, but interesting little corner. Squeaky wiper blade there. Dive into that corner. Exhaust is a bit loose, or the clearance on the exhaust. There's a few little things. Of course, it's raining as usual. No toys on this, so we're all manual. Oh, squeaky blade. We have to get that swapped. We don't want to scratch the glass, so straight away, first thing to do is get that wiper blade on. Should have some back at base. Free range chickens on the right, they're having a good old rummage through the manure. Into what better a car for us to have for the Crypton tune-up, although it's going to be a while before our main Crypton tuner's running, of course. Mud on the road! Woo! Oh, 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 oh. Brakes are actually sharper on this than the other cars. It has got the Land Rover master cylinder on it, and I think they do give you a harder brake pedal. So that's the Land Rover master cylinder, which you can retrofit. You've got to change the fittings, the brake fittings, because they're different. Something about UNF, metric, imperial are different. You don't get that long first or that long second before it drops to third. You get that in Ruby, you get that long second in Ruby. It's even short on bramble actually. Some wobbly cyclists there. And a snappy change on the Borg Warner box. But quiet and smooth. I'd argue it's as quiet as the other cars. So that Dynamat is really good stuff. Always fit that to the fleet. I just like being it when it goes great. Oh god, get them blades swapped. Turn the machines back on. Turn those machines back on. Woo! What a ride. Turn the machines back on. Keep on quaffing and typing, we're doing good. A super chats! Let's get some subscribers up. What can you do to help us get some more subs? Keep the videos coming. We've always got interesting material here. It's very kind of him to stop there. For me, that's a big piece of Audi. Oh, not my cup of tea. Size of that Audi, they're like a tank. Like a tank. The size of a tank, I think. Express there, our parts supplier. Heading into the main town soon. We'll catch you on the way back to base. We're doing good. Rally Sport. Cortina Sport. Green Cortina Sport. Sport. Wider track. 5-journal multi-link suspension crankshaft. Limited slip differential. Reclining seats. Cortina Sport. Lowered roof chop. Frenched. Leaded and sledded. Held on to that second there. A little bit better than normal. Road conditions dry. Mud limited. Chicane. Nick a bit of road there. It's going to end in tears. So what, Tina G still does the business, folks. Let's get back and do the Crypton. Let that power down. Show's over, everybody. Move along. The cabin well appointed and sumptuously upholstered. The ride feels very planted. Gear changes are good and positive, and the ride feels very planted. All the instruments are very well laid out and thought through. There's no bumps, squeaks or rattles, and the ride is very planted. Feels very planted. Oh, change the record. Feels very planted. All the controls are very well appointed. 1005 were built between 1973 and 1974. The Ford Cortina was, did you know another interesting fact? The Ford Cortina, designed by Alex Ignagosis, came with 4 wheels. It was very well appointed during the production year of 1974, where they switched to the 2.3 variant engine, available in 5 different metallic colours, 2 base colours, and a pure aluminium one if you really wanted to. Came with optional wing mirrors, and in 1974 they changed a few little bits, some screws and galvanised heads and things like that. But towards the end of the production run, after 1 million were made, the car still feel very well planted and had 2 washer wiper motors. Yeah. That's the back end! this wobble. Look at that, look at that, look at that wiggle. Look at that wiggle. Look at all that sloppy play in steering rack. Note to self. Don't sell steering rack that you've just sold. Nice one. I'm sure there's play somewhere. It's had new ball, new trackwood ends. Can't be that. Something's not right there. No. Hence your little rear wiggle there. You're getting on street. Although I'm hoping the camera will knock a lot of it out. Beautiful. Put some heat on the feet. Country and West. I'm getting into me country and West. Someone said to me, are you a fan of country and western? And I said, I'm a fan of good country and western. So you know you're getting old when you start liking country and western. Bit of Dolly Parton. Tits out and all. Sound off like you got a pair, Dolly. Go on, Dolly, sound off like you got a pair. Racked and stacked. Oh, bit of country. I like sort of like Glenn Campbell and stuff like that. You know, Castles in the Air by Glenn Campbell. Come on, what a song. If you don't know me by now, you will never know me. Forest, Rock the Boat. Marillion. Get back to where we started from. It's coming on strong. We're going to get right back to where we started from. We'll catch you soon after a bit of Phil Collins. Do you like Phil Collins?